Taboo Talks. Hello, hi. Welcome to Taboo Talks, episode 10. Can't believe we're at episode 10. It feels like just, I don't know, yesterday. Even what's a taboo to you may not be a taboo to another society or culture. So really, this is kind of more, I guess, for my surroundings in Singapore, as well as the community here, and just based on my interactions with people. But I'd love to know what is a taboo topic for you in your environment, and would love to talk about that. I want to talk about this D word that is still quite a big taboo in the society that I'm in, and it's depression. I feel like there's a lot of people who are possibly clinically depressed, or on the way there, or are clinically depressed, but they can't talk about it. And I just think it's a real shame, really, because we should be able to talk about it, and it is important that we talk about it and share what we're going through, if you are going through depression, with others, and then those who are not, to actually be there and listen and to empathize. So what is depression? I'm not a clinical psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not here to talk about the clinical definition of it, but I just kind of want to come from my perspective, my own experience. I've experienced some encounters with depression in different ways, which is interesting for me. So I first learned about depression at university when I was learning to be a this counselor, but we had a counselor service, but where people can call in. It was just a bit of you can be a listening ear and to provide support, and then if there's anything serious, you escalate it to the university authority. So in that training, they actually taught us to identify signs of depression. And it talks about the clouds and lack of energy, or and it's actually not often not what you expect. A depressed person is not necessarily someone who's just moping around looking really sad. It's not quite like that. It's actually quite the opposite. People who tend to have very severe or very drastic levels of mood changes, someone who's the real party goer outside, rah rah rah, when you see them outside at a party or at a dinner or something, they could actually be going through clinical depression, because then when they go home, they actually crash and get really low. So the higher you go, the lower you fall, right? I mean, the lower you go. And for me, I kind of experienced my first experience of depression was when I was really suffering from my back pain, when I had a slip disc and really bad sciatica pain, and the doctor said I was basically I could not move, and I had to lie down for at least 2 weeks, which turned out to be a month, and that was completely debilitating. I was so afraid that I would be paralyzed or crippled forever. I didn't know how my life would change. I just basically what I experienced was this cloud, this fog coming down day by day. It was settling in, and I could not really see beyond the tunnel. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. It was just dark. And then my taste buds started to go a little, and I started experiencing just very kind of like low levels of energy, and I had thoughts of suicide. I had like really visual thoughts of suicide, how like, and I was speaking to my husband about it, and then I realized, oh wow, this is depression. So I think for me, at least personally, because I realized that and I knew the signs, and the moment I realized and my mind made the connection, I was able to work and get myself out of it. That was the first time. The second time round was actually more hormonal, which was really interesting. It was when I was pregnant with our third child. In the first trimester, I actually like got to a state where I was just always panicking. When I was in the shower, I had like suddenly, I guess what they call an anxiety attack, where I would just like freeze and panic, like, oh my god, how can I step out of the house? I can't, like, what if people think this, what if people think that, like, and then I would then go from that to just really spiraling. I feel myself going down in a spiral, down lower and lower, darker and darker. And again, I felt the clouds coming in, like this fog. And that's when I knew, like, oh wow, okay, it's setting in again. But I knew, and obviously it didn't help because I was in my first trimester and I was feeling really sick. It was awful. First trimester of pregnancy. So how I got out of it was, I knew it was a matter of time. I knew if I got through my first trimester, the second trimester would be better. And it kind of was true that it gradually got better and better, like over, I think it was over about 2 to 3 weeks. Then I realized that's hormonal. And then in the third trimester, I had a gestational diabetes. So I went to see a specialist and he wanted to put me on some medication, which I didn't want. But he said, oh, let's give it a try. So I went on medication, and the next thing I knew, after 2 days, it was just 2 days, I saw this fog coming in again and settling in. And it really, like, I started hearing voices, just like whisperings and just darkness. And I experienced just really very deep sadness and very kind of really intense negative emotions. And that's when I realized that, oh wow, okay, this medication has triggered something in my hormonal balance or something in the mind chemistry, right? Went back to the specialist and said, I cannot be on this because this is making me depressed. And he didn't believe me. He was like, no way, that can't be, that it's not listed as the side effects. And I said, no, I'm getting off it. And the moment I got off it, 2 days, 3 days later, it cleared up. Like, my world was bright again and I could go out again and I was feeling okay and I wasn't hyperventilating at the thought of going out and seeing people. So yes, having been through that and knowing how it can just catch you, and if you're not aware of these feelings, you can really spiral. One can really spiral. And what I really needed and wanted at that time was just someone to talk to and listen to me without judging me. And I think that's what we really need to do, especially now with, the coronavirus and everything going on. There's a lot of people who are really impacted, and I think we just need to be more compassionate and to listen and lend a helping, like a shoulder to cry on, or just, offering to do something for them, or going out for a walk outside with them. That really helps. I was reading the Expat Living guide the other day, and interestingly, there's a whole 2-page on mental health check. I really like this part, this article, this write-up, because it actually said it gives tips for talking to someone you are concerned about. Good things to say may include, I'm here if you want to talk. You're not alone. That's really important. You're not alone, because often I think people who are depressed or in depression feel so completely alone. Like, no one else would understand what they're going through. No one else is as bad as, in the bad state as much as they are. And I think just hearing that you are not alone can really help. How did that make you feel? just talking about feelings and emotions. I think a lot of us these days are so just focused on the brain and what do you think? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? But nobody talks about how do you feel about this? So that's really important. I've been through something similar. Well, only say that if you have, because if you haven't, that's not nice. Because you haven't, then you can't really understand, and you don't want to lie as well. The other one, if you'd like to see someone, I'll come with you. I think that's amazing. Like, if you can offer that, that would be amazing to someone. Hi Syed, these are the statement my mama asked me when I don't order teh tarik when I go there. I love the mama. I think that's the reason why we go there, because, it's just really kind of a place where you feel safe and they know you, and, you can, I don't know, bare your heart and soul to the mama without being judged. So I love it. Why don't you order teh tarik actually? What's wrong? The last one, there is a way to recover from this. Yeah, I guess that's about giving hope, right? And telling them that there is a way out, there is a light to the end of the tunnel, and there is, but it's just when you're so deep in, sometimes it's really hard to see it, and it does help for someone else to tell you that. I know that when I was going through these episodes of depression, when I told someone about it, the person just froze and didn't know what to say, and I could just see this person like going into judgment mode, like, what's wrong with you, why are you so weird, like, oh my god, how can you, like, why would you even be depressed, and all these things. And that makes me feel even worse, right? Because I don't know what is going on and why I'm feeling this way. So I think it's just giving the person hope and not making the person feel lonely or alone in their journey. That would just help in a lot, I think, personally, for me. Things you should not say. Hi Danny, thank you for tuning in. We're talking about depression today, the D word. Things you should not say include pull yourself together. Oh my god, like, really? Because this person is in pieces. Like, do not say pull yourself together, get it together, man. Go and get some help. Well, the person's probably feeling really helpless right now and really needs some help. So offering that hand rather than just telling the person to go would help. So yeah, do not say go and get some help, but not actually offering to help that person yourself, like by going with that person. Cheer up, or you need to eat more. Right, yeah, you need to eat more. Okay, that's something I say a lot to my friends. You need to eat more. Come on, I love feeding people. That's why I just love feeding friends and people. And there are certain friends that I would say you need to eat more, but not in the context of depression. So I think, yeah, we need to be kind of cognizant as well when we make statements like that. It helps when you have such a great friend like you to talk to. Oh, thank you, Sai. We haven't spoken for ages, and it really does help. Because I know you have been that great friend to me too. And actually, yes, it really helps to have a friend. When I was going through that stage, I actually did call a friend, and he's a psychologist in Scotland. I said, you know what, I need to talk to you. I need to know if this is depression, and what, like, can it be triggered by a change in hormones, a hormonal imbalance. And it just really helped talking to someone else about it. And he said, yes, that can happen, and it is. And we talked through it. So, and that itself kind of calmed me down. And I know then this too shall pass. But that was just like in a very different situation for me, because I knew it was, like it was finite in some ways because it's hormonal during my pregnancy. Whereas for others, it's not. I definitely do not need to eat more. We always need to eat more. You just need to exercise more or something. But we always need to eat more. I know I always need to eat more, especially if I'm in Malaysia, because I'm missing home so much. So that's it for me today. I really wanted to put this out there. The D word, depression, like, it's still such a big hush, like, oh my god, how can you talk about how that person's depressed? Like, oh, is he mentally crazy, or is she like, going crazy or something. I think, depression is not the same as going crazy. And it is curable, depending on the severity of it, whether with or without medication. And it just by us being more aware and being more sensitive to people who could potentially be slipping into depression, I think would really help. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the like. Thank you. I definitely do not. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Syed. Thank you for tuning in. That's it from me today. I'm going to talk about another D word next week. I was hoping to bring on a guest today for that topic, but unfortunately she can't make it because she's got some family issues that came up. So I'm going to try and talk about that myself next week. So until then, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening as always. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and thank you for tuning in to Taboo Talks. I'll see you next week.